over the 20-plus years she's put in here, part of this family. I think everyone who's been touched by her, each have their own story. I mean, I have my own stories. There's a lot of different stories. But even, like I said, if you see at the top of that, I said to her that, you know, she has a unique gift. There are some people that have to put in a lot of effort, and, you know, God bless them, that's great. And then there are some people that have gifts from God. And I believe everyone has a gift from God, different attributes of God, different abilities. And the most satisfied people in life are those who use those gifts that God has given them. And there's not too many people who really live up to that standard as much as someone like Miss G, who has used the gifts. The gifts of being able to look into a kid, when often other people in the community, even people in this building maybe at times, will see an exterior, will see someone maybe with not as much potential. And she has the ability to not only look past that, but to see the good and to bring out the best in those kids. And she's done it time and time again. And I think her track record proves itself. Whether it's with people here, even in this room right now, who are students that are here right now, players, and their parents also were affected by Miss G. You know, there's a saying that, you know, Rome is not built in a day, or in a week, or in a year. And what makes something special often is the hard work that you don't see that goes on behind that. And what made PRP so special is a chief reason is people like Miss G, who work behind the scenes to make this place really special. And there's two things that I told Miss G this morning and I have thought about. And it's two things that I think the world really needs to see, and that's authenticity and humility. I think nobody embodies that as much as Miss G. As far as being an authentic person, I think each one of the kids that play here can both testify to that, of how authentic her love is. You know, there's not too many people that you can come to and to share your heart with and to be vulnerable. And the way kids grow up today in such a tough environment, we're trained to be so protective and hard. And it's amazing to see how vulnerable and how much love that these young men aren't only willing to give, but to receive. Sometimes it's hard for them to receive love because they don't get as much of that. And I've seen Miss G not only that, but just pour into them, invest in them to the point where they treat her like their own mother. And she's been a mother to all of these kids and to many of you throughout your lives and throughout your careers here and even beyond. She's authentic in the sense of how she loves someone and gives them all. And then humility. You know, I heard a pastor one time say, this guy who was, he was an atheist, very angry at God. And he said one of the turning points for him to where he came around and really encountered and came around to the Lord. One day he was walking in the rain. It was pouring down rain. And out of nowhere, a car swerved over onto the side of the road and picked him up. And he said this man was overly nice to him. It was kind of freaking him out. He was wondering if this guy was going to do something. Well, the guy pulled off to a diner and said, here, let's drive, get you clean. I'll buy you something to eat. And they were sitting there. And during this conversation, this man who was an atheist and angry, they started talking about politics and things of the world. And he started saying, you know, how he thinks this should happen and that should happen. And this will solve the world's problems. And he looked across to this pastor across the table from him. And he said, what do you think? The pastor said, you know what? I think what the world needs to see is someone who's willing to wash another's feet. And that's reference when Jesus humbled himself right before his death and washed his disciples' feet. And that's something I have seen Miss G do day after day, year after year, to each one of these young men. She's been someone who's in a position of authority, but has come to these young men in their lives, has got down on knees and been willing to do the dirty work, to bless them, to love them, to feed them, to hug them, to kiss them, to encourage them. And I've seen her do it in my life. I've seen her do it in other people's lives. So, I mean, it's just a total blessing to have a special gift like someone like Miss G who treats everyone like her family. So I just want to bring her up. I want you guys, if you would, please stand with me as we bring her up and show her our love for her and how much we appreciate her.
When Alyssa puts her phone up, she can come up and pick these up for me. Twitter never, I don't really think I need a microphone, do I? I have a pretty big mouth.
You said it.
I look around this room and I'm telling you, I am touched. 1990, I walked in those front doors. Charlie Miller replaced his whole office staff. We walked in and I had no idea that my life was about to change. I think Danielle, Troy Goodnight were two of the first ball players I met. And Danielle, you just met him. He was everywhere where he wasn't supposed to be. Troy Goodnight would come in the office, and at that point I was Miss John Cola, or Hey Lady. Can I have one of those newspapers? And I said, well, sure. He would take the newspaper, go out, stand by the water fountain, stand there and read, which was good for him because I don't think Troy could see good. He's blinder than that. And then a teacher complained to Bobby Green, who was working here then, and said, you got students just loitering in the hall. And Bobby Green looks out there and he said, ma'am, what I see is an athlete and a student out there reading. He said, there's nothing wrong with that. And Charlie Miller, bless his heart, he backs us on everything around here. But somehow I did get sucked into this crew. And Kinley and Baxter were first, and they convinced me you really had to get into something to be a part of PRP. Dale terrified me. I know how you guys feel. He scared the bejesus out of me because he was the legendary state championship coach. You forget, I came in 90. He was riding the state ring. And I'm like, holy cow. And I would almost tremble when he would walk in. And finally he caught on, I could type. I had half a brain. And so then all of a sudden the kids started coming around. And back then, they got cupcakes like for their birthday. And I could do 24 cupcakes and still have some left. If I do cupcakes now, we're talking 72 cupcakes. And they're gone by third lunch. Every group has something different. Decker's Bunch, oh my gosh. Sloppy Joes. And Decker holds the eating record for PRP basketball. He put away 9 barbecues one day. Then made him a brownie hot fudge sundae, which we used to have all the time. Before him, we go way back in the 90s, Steve Wells was the eater. But each class has held something different to me. And over the years, I'm not afraid of Dale anymore. I know he can't run this program by himself. But, you know, when I get out in the community, I'm proud to be a part of Panther basketball. Parents that are here with this bunch that is here now, and I have loved these boys, every one of them. One day I'll count how many brownies, cupcakes, chocolate chip cookies I've made, the nachos, and then the great nacho paper this year, which some of you young boys would love that story. But each class is something different to me. These three over here took us back where PRP belonged in 2004. I'm not good with which year you people were here. I'm sorry, they do that. I just know the packs that ran together. Danielle, Troy, JJ, Decker, Delph, Phil, Terrence, and Ren. And, you know, this year, this whole team is like the dream team. They're funny. Taywan and Joe Vontae walk in twice a week, tell me some big lie, get me all fired up, because there's some teacher I'm going to have to go get hold of. And I'm going, are you serious? And they're like, no, man, we're teasing. And they walk out with the cookie jar, the candy bowl, or something. They're addicted to Fruities, and I did that, I'm sorry. But my family has allowed me for 22 years to give to these other kids that you can't help but love them. Big old lump Farley sitting there is a teddy bear. But I wish these older boys knew the team we've got right now. And trust me, it's not easy to leave here. I would love to stay Telemontre's gone. But I'm not really leaving basketball. I'm going to be around. You got Robin. And it's difficult to leave, but if you treasure the journey as much as the destination, you're never going to be unhappy. My journey at PRP has been wonderful. It's been good for my kids. Alyssa has been here this year. She knows all these guys. I think it kind of blew her away at first, all these kids hanging out in Mama's office. And, you know, you do see them. They come by during classes. Antonio, bless his heart, sometimes he was the only one here, I think, one day this week. And he comes in just looking around and said, what do you need? Nothing, just getting snacks, going to class. And he's filling his pockets up. But you've got to realize, I've got 6 grandkids. Trust me, I don't have 7. Kinley says I have 7. He said one of the girls is breaking news to me tonight. I've checked. They're not breaking news to me tonight. I have 6 grandkids. All but the little boy are here tonight. One just came in from Savannah, Georgia today. She didn't come to see me. She came to watch her sister graduate. But, you know, they've sacrificed.
That was so cute.
And one day they're going to be in that kitchen, and I'm going to be cooking something, and they're not going to say, which of the boys is having a birthday? Who are you all playing that's big? Because on big days, we have nachos. Butler is always nacho day. But I'm not going to speak 15 or 20 minutes. Kinley says, you need to speak 20. I said, I'm not a speaker, I'm a cook. But the one thing I do want to say, because each boy has been special to me. And one of my favorite songs in the world is The Rose. And I'm just going to say the last part to you. Just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the seed that with the sun grows, becomes the rose. Each one of these boys in the past 22 years, I would claim as my rose, and I love my bouquet of roses, and it couldn't be more fitting that that's what I got. I thank you all for letting me. You people have given me far more than I could ever give you. I gave you food. I gave you hugs. And with a few of you, Decker's mom was in the service, and she was gone for a while. And me and Decker's mom got close. I ain't going to comment about your daddy. So when Adam's grandpa died last year, she called. And she said, Miss G, I think Adam needs his PRP family. So we went to that funeral, and we were with Adam. And we would do it for any of you, because that's what you do. My mother's here tonight. Giddy Ghost. Go on Facebook, you'll find her. I'm surprised she's not sitting here texting you tonight. She's got her hands on her purse. It's probably in there. Yes, she texts. But thanks to all my family, all the grandkids, and Mr. Miller for hiring me, and Mr. Johnson, the man sits in his office when I've got 20 kids in mine, having nachos and brownies. He never says a word, he just comes in and gets in one. Thank you for letting me enjoy my work here at PRP. Boys, thank you.
I'd like to read a little plaque. Basketball team got for Miss G today. It says Panther Basketball Outstanding Service Award presented to Vicki Giancola, Miss G. In appreciation for all that you have done and continue to do for Panther Basketball. You have been a mother, a mentor, a friend, and so much more. You are truly one of a kind, a very special